Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here, standing with Abel Sanchez, the trainer of Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and Mike Perez, and talking about your star pupil. By many accounts, many people choosing him Fighter of the Year. When you heard that, what was your reaction to that? How did that make you feel?
Obviously very proud, but it's something that I told him 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago when he first came to my gym, if he gave me the time and didn't interrupt anything that I wanted to do and the direction that I wanted to go in, that he would be the most avoided, the best middleweight in the world, and nobody is going to want to fight him, and that's come true. I mean, it was obvious back then, and I'm surprised that he wasn't named on all the polls #1.
Let me touch on that, because the other spectrum, a lot of people picked Floyd Mayweather Jr. So when you heard that, how did that make you feel?
Floyd's a great fighter. Are you kidding me? He's a great fighter. But I think that Fighter of the Year should be the guy that improves the most, the guy that is the most dramatic, the guy that most people want to watch, the guy that most fans are talking about. And I think that's Gennady this year. Floyd had a couple fights against guys that he dominated real easy. But I think the fight fans want to see something more from Floyd. Winning is not enough for some reason.
When he went to your gym that first time, has he changed at all? You know, how have you seen his growth compared to a few years to now?
Of course he's changed. Technically, he's changed body-wise. If you look at him now 4 years later, his body's matured and grown up a little bit with our strength and conditioning work. He's a lot more patient now than he was back then. He's a lot more precise than he was back then. So all those things that come with age and come with experience and come with hard work.
Now, do you feel because he's the Fighter of the Year on many accounts, you should have been Trainer of the Year?
Not necessarily.
Come on, give yourself some credit.
No, you know what? Again, I think it goes back to what I said about the fighter. I think that you have to judge. Let me put it this way. Unfortunately, sometimes these trophies or mantles are put on trainers because of their name and because of what they've done in the past. I think that it should be with fighters that they've had fight that year, that have developed and have grown as a fighter. Freddie, I think, is the one that got it this year, was it? Robert got it? Okay, he had a great fight at the end of the year with Maidana. I'm not saying that fight should have garnered him the trophy, but look at what he's done with other fighters, you know. He's had a great year. I mean, he had a lot of big fights. Unfortunately, he lost a couple, but he had a lot of great fights. So, you know, I hope that one day we get to that point where we have 4 or 5 big names fighting a year and we're mentioned again. But it's not that important to me, really. That I got mentioned, great. Those are all great guys, and to be mentioned with them, unbelievable. But it's my guys keep winning and keep improving and keep doing their thing. That's what's important to me.
What has Gennady told you about the guys that don't want to fight him, and really the difficulty in finding fights for him in his division?
You know, nothing really, because when he comes to camp to train, and he's going to get in the ring with somebody. This time it's Adama, but to him, he leaves that to management team and to the promoters, and it's for me to talk to them to make sure that everything is lined up. He goes to camp to train. He doesn't want to know nothing about nothing. So
then let me ask you that same question. You know, how frustrating is it for you seeing that you have this killer that you know if he gets a big name fight, he's going to turn into a superstar, and it's just kind of like stalling, like you can't get him these fights?
Well, fortunately for me, I've been in this position before many times, and I've seen Terry Norris grow in 4 or 5 years into a Hall of Fame fighter. I have to remember, Gennady Golovkin's first fight on TV in the U.S. was September the 1st of 2012. That's only 14 months, man. It's 15 months. So I'm not surprised that he's not progressing any faster, because it's not supposed to be any faster. That he's knocking people out, he's supposed to be doing that. That nobody wants to fight him until he becomes a little bit bigger. I understand that too. So we just have to stay busy and make sure that he doesn't get complacent and doesn't get lazy, that he fights every 90 days at the most, and the recognition will come, because it comes in time.
A lot of fans want to see him with Martinez, with Cotto, all these big names, and they get frustrated, and a lot of it is you got a killer on your hands. This guy's taking out guys and making it seem easy.
Okay, well, the question should be, it shouldn't be to me. The question should be to Martinez. Martinez, why don't you want to fight Golovkin? And have a good answer. What? Because there's not enough money? I'm sure there would be enough money. Because he's too heavy? Or is it because he's killing everybody? You know, they have to answer those questions. Peter Quillen, and I'll mention him, stands behind the fact that there's a network war right now. There's HBO and Showtime that are fighting each other. You know, if you really wanted to prove who was the best, if you keep saying I'm the best, we keep saying Gennady's the best, so we're willing to fight him. Gennady happens to be a big numbers guy on HBO. Peter's an undercard fighter. If Peter wanted to prove he was the best, then you go fight the best and go back to, after you beat him, then go back and make Showtime even bigger. But there seems to be always an excuse on why we're not going to fight Golovkin. You know, when you mention his name, they all of a sudden become unavailable. All of a sudden, there's not enough money. All of a sudden, he's not known enough. You know, there's so many reasons why not. Ask them why not. You know, that's up to you guys. We can only keep trucking along and keep winning. They have to make that decision to sign on a dotted line.
Well, you're trucking along to this February date. We're going to see you guys in Monaco, and hopefully we get another great performance, and then maybe another great year for Gennady Golovkin, looking to start things off in a big way. Here in Manhattan Beach, Marcos Villegas for the Boxing Channel.